Sunday morning here in eastern Pennsylvania. Rhonda Scott Merrick, first person in, Keith Shaw, close behind, and Michael Tierson, and the lovely Ann Mintz, and Pam Zappardino, Donna Greenberg. Michael Tierson says, getting nippy, but today's supposed to be up in the 50s here. And that means down where you are, it might hit 60. Hi, Ellen O'Brien and Warren Bendler and Janelle and Terry St. James and Ann Caston. I'm just warming up my old flat pick here. And of course, I should cloink to you all, wish you a good Sunday morning. There was a time when we would be cloinking with the Kokomo Kid, but he's off on other adventures, apparently. I see my sister-in-law Jill Chernick is on there, and my good friend Margot Lemieux, and Big Dan Daniel, and Bob McKenna. And Cozy Sheridan is here. Hi, Cozy. Cozy and I were discussing these Martin Authentic guitars. This is an OM18 Authentic, and it is about as close as you could get in a new guitar to what a vintage pre-World War II Martin would be like. And I adore this guitar. I really love it. It's got a big, warm sound. Even though it's not a big, big guitar, it's an OM, an orchestra model. So hello to you all. Heidi McClure is here, and Carol Pratt, and Howard Hobbs, and Michael Anthony Wood. Lauren Payne. Lauren, I hope you're tap dancing around by now. I'm not sure if that's the case, but Russ Leisenheimer. Hey, Rusty. And Charlie Bryant, and Mike Verbeck. Some of you are cloinking along. So this first song today, I love this song, and I haven't done it in a really long time. But because some of you have had a little dusting of snow recently, I thought it was about time to bring this one out. This is written by a woman named Lucinda Choden and a guy named Dave Clark, not to be confused with the Dave Clark 5 or anything like that. And Dave, I met years ago. He's a really good guitar player. And his band, Steel Rail, is a Canadian band that recorded this song. Wonderful tune. It's called 1,000 Miles of Snow. Snow needles in the headlights, cold moon knows the way I feel. It was snowing in Toronto when I got behind the wheel. 12 hours on the road, now the flakes still coming down. I got 3 more days of blacktop till I'm back in my hometown. I'm driving home across 1,000 miles of snow. Dancing across the highway, static on the radio. I'm humming Walk That Lonesome Valley, so I don't feel so alone. I left my life behind when I went east so many years ago. Now these empty roads will take me back to faces I won't know. I'm driving home across 1,000 miles of snow. concrete and the neon for these empty fields of grain. I wish each time these wipers arced, they'd wash a week away. And in the center of the city, I still heard that west wind blow. Now this old Slant Six and my regrets will carry my heart home. I'm driving home, driving home, across 1,000 miles of snow. Yes, I'm driving home, driving home, across 1,000 miles of snow. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful tune? And yeah, Warren Bendler commented on the Slant Six. This is a peculiar thing. If you grew up in the 70s or 60s and were not a real rich person, you probably had an old Chrysler product that had a Slant Six engine in it. And those Slant Sixes were bulletproof. They were the kind of car that went on and on and on. Another little drink of coffee here. That's one of that reference is one of many things I love about that tune. So next up is a perennial favorite. I'm sure a lot of you love it, and I'm sure probably a lot of you even play it. It was I heard it first down in Tennessee, and I thought I figured it was a bluegrass standard, but it turned out not to be the case. It was instead a folk standard. And my terrible brain is blanking on the wonderful woman who passed away many years ago who wrote it, but it'll come back to me, and you guys will remind me. This is Across the Great Divide. I've been walking in my sleep, counting troubles instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say. I just turned around and they had flown away. And I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell a story I used to know. It was one that happened so long ago. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. Now I heard the owl calling softly as the night was falling, with a question, and I replied. She was gone across the borderline. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. finest hour that I have seen is the one that lies between the edge of night and the break of day. It's when the darkness rolls away. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change directions across the great divide. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change directions across the great divide. Kate Wolfe, it came to me. It helped that somebody wrote it in. So, isn't that a great song too? It's so deep, geez. So let me go back and say hi to some of the people I missed earlier. Sarah Steele is here. Alan Kane. Laura Jackson Selden. My old eyes can't read whether it's Selden or Sadin, but I just know her as the Gibson girl. Sharon Lee is here. Deb Libby Clark. Gary Wingard. Hi, Gary. Eddie D. Sue Lewandowski. Sue Lewandowski and Jill Chernick are sisters, and were Jan's sisters. So they're both here. It's good to see them. And Peter Williamson, who is Sharon Lee's husband. And Mark Steele. Boy, we got a crew. And I'm gonna scroll back the other way and see who else I missed. Steve Edelman said he had a 72 Dodge Dart. Big Dan is here. Claude Galinsky. Hey, Claude. Jay Peterson had a 70. This will be, we'll have a car thing here. A 70 Plymouth Valiant. I love that. Mark Steele had a Plymouth Duster, 3-speed on the floor. Howard Hobbs is here. Donna Greenberg. Michael Hecht. Hi, all you guys. Thank you, Warren and/or Janelle, for saying my voice sounds good. Speaking of voices, I talked to the voice himself last night, Charles Williams. Those of you on here who know Charles, he seems to be doing fine. He was about to go out to dinner with some friends or to their house. And he and I are still talking about putting together an album in which he sang and I played jazz guitar behind him. We might do that at the beginning of next year, we're hoping. John Hubner's here. And John Rice, hi, Wheat. And Toby Simmons from Encino. It's good to see you all. Terry St. James, Terry Linder. Ann Mintz even had a Slant Six, and she's not much of a driver. That might be cliff riding, I don't know. Dave Van Allen. Hi, Dave. Dave's a great pedal steel player. Martin McNeil's here, too. Hi, Martin. And Lynn Dudenbastel. Lynn Dudenbastel is one of the great instrument builders of the world. Back when I had money, I actually owned a Lynn Dudenbastel guitar at one time. And it was actually what financed this house. Selling that guitar enabled us to buy this house. So thanks, Lynn. I hope you and Amy and the kids, who are now like 30 years old, I guess, are all doing well down there in Tennessee. And Bud Manning is here, Phil Pappas, big crowd. Nancy Daynard, hi, Nance. Okay, so I should get to work here. You know what I did? I forgot to turn off the humidifier. I don't want the fan to start while we're here. So I bought this big room humidifier. I've got like 4 hygrometers positioned around the house, and it's doing pretty well. I calibrated them and everything, so I'm hoping they're good. And what that does is it enables me to leave my guitars out so that I can just pick up a guitar when I want to play guitar. And that's a wonderful thing. That's what we want. Instead of having to go, oh, I got to get the case out, and then I have to bend over and unclip it. And I'm an old man. I don't like bending over anymore, unless it's to pick up a cup of coffee. So there you have it. So I'm going to put down my flat pick, and I'm going to make some announcements. So I want to say hi to the Invisibles if you're here. Let me pull up my Invisible sheet, as I usually do. And so that includes Kate Mack, Kit Serikaku, Bill Rubenstein, Linda Worster, Joel Biget, Mario Prue, who's another one of the world's great guitar builders, and Rosemary Ross. I think Kathy Edelman is okay now. I think she shows up if she's here. And if not, I say hi to her too. I want to say hi to all my friends. And so those are the Invisibles. Tomorrow I will be on at 3 p.m. and I will probably have a special guest with me tomorrow. Alex Bevan. Hi, buddy. It won't be Alex Bevan, unfortunately, but it'll be somebody who Alex knows. So tune in tomorrow at 3, and I will be doing my live stream with a special guest. Speaking of live streams, Martin McNeil is here. He does a great blues live stream. He's in the UK, and my only problem with it right now is it sometimes coincides with Alex Bevan's live streams, to which I'm completely loyal. So that's the way that works, but you can listen to both. You can go back and listen to one of them afterwards. But Martin is great, so go hear him. And so the schedule is I'll be back tomorrow, Monday at 3 p.m. On Tuesday will mark the return of Cozy Sheridan and Charlie Koch with their live stream. And that's at 10:30 Eastern Time. And then Tuesday at 11, which is usually right when Cozy and Charlie finish up, Dakota Dave Hull, out there in Minneapolis, where it is 10 a.m. Central Time, will do his Tuesday morning stream. And then I'll be back on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. And I assume, since Thanksgiving is an American holiday, that Martin will still be doing his stream on Thursday. He can mention whether that's going to happen if he's still here. And like that. I think that's all of my announcements. Yeah, so I'm going to fingerpick a little for you now. And I'm trying to get used to wearing a thumb pick again. That's the old Fred Kelly speed pick. And the first one of these I got was given to me by my old friend Eddie Pennington many years ago, like 20 years ago. And he said, boy, you got to try this thumb pick. So he gave me one. The one he had said Eddie Pennington on it. He was not invested at all. But I've been using them ever since when I use a thumb pick. But I usually don't use the thumb pick. But I'm trying to get used to it and use it more, because the more I finger pick, then my thumb gets sensitive and stuff like that. And there's some advantages, and I got to be able to do multiple things with my hand to get anything to come out of it. So this is an instrumental I wrote a long time ago, before I ever started doing live streams. Of course, I started doing what I called Sunday morning music, and I started that probably in 2008. I'm not sure. I'm going to kind of look back and see if I can figure it out. And for many years, for 7 years at least, every Sunday morning, I would videotape a one tune, and I'd put it up as Sunday morning music at 10:30. And I mentioned that because my friend Robin Stratton asked on my page, when did you start doing that? So that morphed into live streams when the pandemic started, and here we are, almost 2 years later. Anyhow, this tune is called Sunday Morning, and so it was one of the earliest tunes I wrote for these Sunday morning music things, and it became the title song of a CD that I put out, which, as you might guess, is called Sunday Morning. And it's actually a kind of favorite tune that I wrote, so for me, So I find it to be calming and peaceful. So that's called Sunday Morning. And the rest of the story is that I think when I first started doing Sunday mornings, I actually did Saturday mornings. Or at least I wrote that on a Saturday morning, and it was called Saturday Morning. And then when I started doing them every Sunday morning, I changed the name. It seemed like the thing to do. So for reasons which will become clear, even though the Martin sounds lovely, my old Gibson sounds lovely too, and it has to be the song it has to be the guitar for this song, because this song is about this guitar. And I'm going to actually, I have no, whoa, we're really way down there. So it does worry me a little that even with my whole room humidifier, the guitars are going flat, which means the wood is getting drier. I'm hoping and assuming that it's not getting dry enough to make anything crack. But I'm not without trepidation. I got plenty of trepidation. If you need some trepidation, give me a holler. I can ship some to you. Not sure it's the kind of thing you'd want. So the name of this song is 34 Gibson. So I was trying to figure out the fastest way to get my flat pick warmed up, my flat pick hand. And I discovered last night while I was watching TV, I was listening to a book on tape, that if I just play, the way I'd play if I had a rhythm guitarist, like, lighter touch when I do that. So it helps me warm up my hand and I don't get as heavy-handed. But I digress. So here's 34 Gibson. Now that young boy must have worked mighty hard, saved $37 for a new guitar. And when he got her, she looked pretty plain, just cheap white paint for the Gibson name. Well, he played her on the street for quite a while, till he got called up by the Army Corps. And dodging the draft was not his style. Him and that Gibson went to war. If she could tell some tales, if she could speak of where she's been, what she's seen, she could make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, but she sure can sing. Now he came back from the war alive, and he traded her in on a J45. And a tough young woman had her for a while. She played the blues in the Memphis style. Now she was living a juke joint life. She became a country singer's wife. And he strummed that Gibson without much grace. He strummed the finish right off her face. In 1960 she got sold. By then she was looking pretty old. Then a folk singer had her by his side when he went down on the Freedom Ride. Now that was hard traveling, I declare. He was lucky not to get murdered there. And way down south on a violent night, her back got stove in a fight. She could tell some tales if she could speak of where she's been, what she's seen. She could make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, she sure can sing. Well, I found her in a pawn shop, priced to sell. They weren't asking much, 'cause she looked like hell. Well, I tuned her up and I struck a chord, and all I could say was, oh my Lord. 'Cause now she sounds like a wise old sage. Some things only come with age, and most of them people are dead and gone. This old Gibson still lives on. She could tell some tales if she could speak of where she's been, what she's seen. She could make these walls and windows shake. She don't speak, but she sure can sing. .34 Gibson. The true story of this guitar with a capital T, not a small case T. So let me kind of take a little look back before we do the mantra. We'll do a blues mantra today in honor of Martin McNeil having been here. Kathy Craw is here from Canada. If you missed the first part, you have to tune in again and hear the Canadian song I did at the beginning. And I think that's... Are there any other people I missed? I thank you all for showing up. And Cozy Sheridan goes, do they make a copy of your Gibson? Gibson has tried to make some. I'm not sure if they've ever done very good at it. The company that has done best at it is Collings. Their Waterloo WL14 is pretty much a straight copy of an old L00. It's kind of a cross between a Kalamazoo, which was a Gibson off-brand, and during the Depression, and an L00. And those are lovely guitars. I had one, that model. I have another Waterloo now, as many of you know, but I had that the model that was just like an L00, but it sounded so much like this that I just said, well, it doesn't make sense to keep both of these, so I sold it. One of my students has it now. So let's do this. And we're going to go to the Halo Cam, which I keep forgetting to do for the mantra, but I like to do. And we had a real nice crowd here today, about almost 60 people. So it's be happy. Be healthy. Be brave. And be calm. Be kind. You know, it's a snap. And if you get cranky, take a nap. And you can also, you can take a nap if you're having like side effects from your booster shot. They only last a day or so. But get your booster shot. And you'll be able to play the blues, because you got to suffer to sing the blues. I love you all. Take care. Thank you for coming out and listening. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 with a special guest.